Αγαπητοί τηλεθεατές, καλώς ήλθατε στην εκπομπή του Hellenic TV Τεχνοπολις.
Σε συνεργασία με τις εκδόσεις ΑΚΑΚΙΑ θα συνεχίσουμε και απόψε, όπως και κάθε Κυριακή στις 7:30 το βράδυ, το ταξίδι μας στον κόσμο της λογοτεχνίας, της ποίησης, του ηλεκτρονικού βιβλίου και όχι μόνο.
Πριν ξεκινήσουμε, να δώσουμε στον αέρα το τηλέφωνο και το email των εκδόσεων ΑΚΑΚΙΑ για να μπορείτε να επικοινωνήσετε μαζί μας αν είστε συγγραφείς ή ποιητές και θέλετε να εκδώσετε τα βιβλία σας σε ηλεκτρονική και σε έντυπη μορφή με το ελάχιστο κόστος των 300 λιρών.
Μπορείτε να επισκεφτείτε το website των εκδόσεων ΑΚΑΚΙΑ, του μοναδικού ελληνικού εκδοτικού οίκου της Μεγάλης Βρετανίας, www.akakia.net, όπως ακριβώς το βλέπετε και στους δέκτες σας, ή να καλέσετε στα τηλέφωνα 0203 2866 550 και 074 11 40 65 62. Επαναλαμβάνω, 0203 2866 550 και 074 11 40 65 62. Αγαπητοί μας τηλεθεατές, στη σημερινή μας εκπομπή έχουμε τη χαρά να είναι ακόμα μία φορά μαζί μας η φίλη και συνεργάτη των εκδόσεων ΑΚΑΚΙΑ, Ρήμ Σάλεκ. Ρήμ, καλησπέρα.
Καλησπέρα.
Καλησπέρα και από μένα.
Η οποία θα μας βοηθήσει στην παρουσίαση του βιβλίου Ode to a Thank You του κυρίου Ιωάννη Βάσσου, το οποίο και έχει εκδοθεί από τις εκδόσεις ΑΚΑΚΙΑ.
Ας δούμε τώρα τι γράφει ο ίδιος ο συγγραφέας σε ένα μικρό βιογραφικό που συνοδεύει το βιβλίο του, το οποίο βέβαια το έχουμε ξαναδιαβάσει και σε προηγούμενη εκπομπή, γιατί έχουμε ξαναπαρουσιάσει βιβλίο του Ιωάννη Βασσου, αλλά να τον ξαναγνωρίσουμε. Έλληνας το όνομά μου, Έλληνας και το επίθετό μου. Το ιερό ονοματεπώνυμο που μου έδωσε η πατρίδα μου, Ιωάννης Βασσος. Το ονοματεπώνυμο που μου χάρισαν να τιμήσω οι σεβαστοί γονείς μου. Γεννημένος στο Χάουθαλεν του Βελγίου στις 21 Δεκάτου του 1963 από Έλληνες γονείς μετανάστες. Ήρθα στην Ελλάδα πριν συμπληρωθεί το τρίτο έτος της ηλικίας μου. Μακεδόνας στην καταγωγή από τη Δεσκάτη Γρεβενών. Λάτρεψα τα όνειρά μου, που ήθελα να υπηρετούν τα ιδανικά των αρχαίων προγόνων μου. Ο 16άκτηνος ήλιος των Μακεδόνων κέντησε την ψυχή μου. Η Ακρόπολη, ο μοναδικός σε μεγαλοπρέπεια ναός, τιμά με τη λάμψη του την όρασή μου. Η ελληνική γλώσσα, φύλακας και φυλακτό, σε αυτή τη σύνθεση του τριαδικού φιλοσοφικού είναι μου. Ο ιερέας βρίσκει μια θρησκεία για να την υπηρετήσει, ενώ ο ποιητής πλάθει μια θρησκεία, το όνειρο. Όταν η σιωπή όλων η θελημένα από ευγένεια θα σιωπά, η ελληνική γλώσσα, ναός που ενσαρκώθηκε σε λόγο, θα στείλει τους ιερείς της, τις λέξεις, να μας διδάξουν τις γνώσεις της. Αυτά μας λέει ο κύριος Ιωάννης Βασσος.
Να πούμε σε αυτό το σημείο ότι πρόκειται για ένα βιβλίο το οποίο περιέχει 245 ψαλμούς και μία προσευχή. Ρήμ, θα έχεις την καλοσύνη να μας διαβάσεις ένα απόσπασμα του βιβλίου μας?
Ναι, βέβαια.
Ευχαριστούμε.
Ode to a Thank You. Translation from Greek by Adonis Galeos. Dedicated with a deserved love to those that had learned to truly love. To the Holy Mother Superior and the Belgian nuns, assistant nurses in Hasselt, on the 21st of November of 1963, the date of my birth. These ladies that were aware and wanted to prize the value of life, with the magnanimity of their benevolence. The introduction. The arbitrariness of the acts of my life melted away, clashing with my soul, in the blaze of your infinitude. And my tears seemed abashed, in face of the well-grounded indictment of the eternal life, for they resembled desperate souls of weary dreams. And then my friendships were reborn, along with my scant virtues, and thus they managed to teach the breath of light to the darkness, the liquid splendor of my speculative tears. Lord, I repudiated the mediocrity of matter. I repudiated the mediocrity of man, the eternal disciple. I craved now to offer to my spirit only true knowledge, awarded by the beauty of the divine. For I, being a terrestrial friend of angels, craved also, I, the human present, to meet angels again and again, Lord. For thou have shattered to senseless desires of the arrogant victory of my passions, the pleasure guardians. 2. For thou have guided the sense of my discipling ears to associate with glorious words. 3. For thou have preached to my heart the courage of kindness, which thou have appellated love. 4. Lord has accepted the disgrace of my form and has forgiven it. 5. The ignorant on divinity pronounced God is where the dominant zero loves to reside, and the archetypal zero said to the zero, nothing exists apart from the desire of my human maker. 6. Shelter me, Lord, in the hospitality of thy selflessness, which is thy truth. Hide me in the paradises of the movement of thy ever all-vigilant, star-guarded eyes. 7. Lord, forgive those with the totality of thy grace, Lord. Punish those with the honesty that always proceeds from the advice of thy love. 8. Lord, save me from the robber, carrying his ignorance on the misfortunes of meanness, from the plundering instructor of impunity, who transforms truth which was grateful to life, when it tamed wisdom into a senseless lie. My soul is deliberately leading my feelings to the Lord. My body is serving with the prudence of piety the desire of my soul, abandoned to the submission to the divine. 10. O haven, thou modifier and master of the divine changes in my life, the holy desires of the virtues, make them crave in our favor thy truth. 11. Lord, I have shored within me the birth of love for thy truths, and now thy temple has become a crib to warm up the three builders, mind, body, and my soul, following the loyalty and preserving the Easter substance of my present. 12. The voice of the Lord resounds within me, when I become the sacred visitor of the temple, and elevates our souls to make them attain the respect of the angels. 13. Thou, Lord, are the religion of the moral principles and the language, the precursor and the mellow-tongued guardian of this religion. 14. For Lord trusted his tears to the just, his prayers to the beggars of logic, the prudent. 15. The indiscretion of my lips, O Lord, a back door of indecent opinion of my irreverence. 16. Lord, hear my prayer, for it is the power of decency and the new guard of the sentiment of my humble soul. For I am the soul of the bee, where I crave for the honey of your words. O Lord, for I am the soul of the prayer, when it meets thy presence, O Lord. 18. For to my God, the Lord, my authority desires to pray respectfully on my being, and freedom allows to my being the foundation of a friendship with the virtues that now govern my soul. 19. My voice shepherding sounds of hope, and my God, the only one listening to the creeds of this hope. 20. On thou, O Lord, my pain deposits the instants that reacted to their mute affliction, my tears. On thou, O Lord, my conversation with death deposits his reluctance to condemn those that love life. 21. Thou, that the Angelus of pain's healing, thou, that the Angelus of death's healing, for thou hast shown respect even for the inability of clay to have an angelic presence in animate life. And thou hast offered the beauty of love to instruct the life of clay, which was forged by thy breath, and thou called it heart of thy Son, or else the gratitude of man. 22. And thou, my only God, that granted to the earthen supplications the power to be able now to pronounce human prayers. Likewise, thou, O Lord, appreciated clay's yearning for a dignity guarded by the honesty of soul and life. 23. And I am the zero, and I believe with an excess of arrogance in zero. And this is the reason I can't remind myself that only thou art aware of the comprehension of all, Lord. 24. White consciousness, find a refuge in thou, those calming the silences of the clouds, in thou a refuge for the frightened sparkles of the stars that are to be lost. My presence only does not desire the shelter of your solace, Lord. 25. Lord, the knowledge of death was granted to the fates of our wandering destinies. 26. And the miracle received the actual value of its concept when it was presented from God, this blessed moment that does not belong to man to rule over the frivolity of human life. For a miracle is a breviary of knowledge, obeying life and being obeyed by life. 27. My Lord is the sovereign of my origin. My Lord is the final obstacle at my end. 28. O Lord, thou my brightest sun, guard from malice that non-decay in brilliance of my soul. Sun, exclusive guide of angels, and gloom, dispeller of my all-illuminant soul. 29. And the path is fasting, where thy way reigns, wearisome to our mortal egotism, my prayer, the definition of the love of my soul, from which I enter in the service of thy grandeur. The security of thy mercy, emanating from the kindness of prayer, defines also the dream of my soul, Lord. 30. But the will for humanity of my eyes was not ready for thy light. Love the arguments of refusal, my hearing indoctrinated with false tears, my eyes. And now with the chastisement becoming for my eyes, the liquid supervision of wailing, I address thou, O Lord. 31. Cast away the beast of pleasure that like a silence creeps to devour words. The beast that resides within thou, for thou were born only to be a friend, to quiet, like Lord's lamp. 32. My tongue sinned. Let it not be the case that my silence, being brotherly to it, is a collaborator in my sin as well. 33. And we turned our face away from the truth of thy gaze's compassion, and even though we believed that our fruitless freedom would allow us to turn it elsewhere, all over, we turned it to the dominion of nowhere. 34. And we stood in command of our frivolity to disown thy love, obstructing the attempts of benevolence to cancel our offenses, O Lord. 35. For sin has accompanied the loss of presence, of benevolence in my every day. Let thy benevolence accompany the scorn of my errors in my eternal way. 36. Lord, my sins will praise thou as well through the friendship of my apology. 37. And my silence wished to announce God, and my voice was embarrassed for the negligence of its silence. 38. For God has spoken, and I, even though present, considered irrelevant the presence of my hearing. And God fell silent, and now I let the habit of tears to hearken diligently his silence. 39. For the Lord is listening, and do not punish the terms of life and the existence of each life. For men are irreverent to the dignity of freedom, of life, of every life. And deliberately they do not listen. 40. Lord, the oversights of my eyes heard the liquid advice of my tears. 41. I imprisoned truth in falsehood's life that they call torments. The ownership of my virtues I granted to the delights of death, but God is versed in all of my mediocrities. 42. And the arid members of the earth turned into a torrent, and they turned into suns and the minutest stars, and thou did not consent to have thy tranquility disturbed from all these, Lord. 43. And thou guided the dreams to guard the anxieties of day, as souls guard the mortal anxieties that they call bodies. and thou exchange the destinies of silence with humans to make them believe into the eternal years of thy dreams, O Lord. 44. And thou opened up, counselled by thy magnanimity, the portals of the ark of all, and thou allowed for the man with the right of life to enter the dominion of thy grandeur. 45. And thou appointed the elect and all the people in the beginning, the elect, but only a few, Lord, even now, wish to show respect to honesty and truly love thou. 46. And I were the king, and I were the conqueror, and thou, Lord, with thy wisdom instructed me, how even in the state of now thou determine who rules and for how long everything. 47. Lord, dispense to death the most fine of all miracles, frailty, to obstruct him for subtracting hopes that ceaselessly present life with precious times. 48. The creatures that do not speak look at thou, and those that boast of speaking donate brazenly silence to their words. That wont to praise thou, O Lord. 49. As a skillful arrower, thou guarded the movements that would please death from thy arrows, Lord, and we presented our lives with fatal flayings with our own arrows. 50. And thou passed to be read laws referring only to the enjoyment of life to us, O Lord, and we pronounced irresponsibly laws that left speechless even the duty of death.
Ρήμη, σε ευχαριστούμε πολύ.
Ευχαριστούμε πολύ.
Να θυμίσω πάλι ότι αυτό ήταν ένα μικρό δείγμα από το βιβλίο Ode to a Thank You του κυρίου Ιωάννη Βάσσου, από μια συλλογή που περιέχει 245 ψαλμούς.
245. Και μία προσευχή.
Και μία προσευχή. Και η Ρήμη μόλις μας διάβασε μερικούς από αυτούς. Για όσοι θέλετε βέβαια να το βρείτε στο website των εκδόσεων ΑΚΑΚΙΑ. Σε ευχαριστούμε πάρα πολύ για ακόμη μια φορά.
Ευχαριστώ.
Αγαπητοί τηλεθεατές, φτάσαμε στο τέλος της εκπομπής του Hellenic TV Τεχνοπολις.
Όσοι ενδιαφέρεστε να εκδώσετε τα βιβλία σας σε ηλεκτρονική αλλά και σε έντυπη μορφή με το ελάχιστο κόστος των 300 λιρών, μπορείτε να επισκεφτείτε το website των εκδόσεων ΑΚΑΚΙΑ, του μοναδικού ελληνικού εκδοτικού οίκου της Μεγάλης Βρετανίας, www.akakia.net, όπως ακριβώς το βλέπετε και στους δέκτες σας, ή να καλέσετε στα τηλέφωνα 0203 28 66 550 και 074 11 40 65 62. Επαναλαμβάνω, 0203 28 66 550 και 074 11 40 65 62.
Ας φανταστούμε έναν κόσμο γεμάτο βιβλία και ας τον δημιουργήσουμε.
Ας κάνουμε την πόλη μας μία Τεχνόπολη.
Σας ευχαριστούμε που ήσασταν κοντά μας.
Καληνύχτα σας.
Καληνύχτα σας.
Καληνύχτα.